The idea of similarity can be related to something called enlargement or reduction. So we can think of enlargement as in like an original figure. We will make it larger or we will make it smaller. But when we make it larger or when we make it smaller, we go according to a certain ratio. We go according to a fixed ratio. So that's why enlargement or reduction is actually related to similarity because of the fixed ratio. But in enlargement or reduction, that fixed ratio is what we'll call a scale factor. So it's the same idea, but except that we will call the fixed ratio as a scale factor. Okay, so let me explain the formula for a scale factor first. So we define scale factor as the length of the enlarged figure. So we take the length of the enlarged figure or the reduced figure, and then we divide by the original length. So it is the enlarged length over the original length. So for example, in this case, okay, this triangle A prime, B prime, C prime is an enlargement of this triangle with a scale factor 2. So what does that mean when it says that there's a scale factor 2? So you compare the ratio. So we'll compare this ratio and this ratio. So you look at this ratio. That means, right, if I do this ratio, it will be 2/1. That means, right, this part here is 2 units. So this is like 2 units, and then this is like 1 unit. So you can compare other length as well. So for example, if you compare B prime, C prime against BC. So if you compare BC and B prime, C prime, you can count the 1, 2, 3. There are 3 square here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the ratio will be 6 units. So if you do a B prime, C prime, it will be 6/3. You will still get a scale factor of 2. So it is the same idea as a ratio. So in similarity, we focus a lot on the ratio. The same ratio in enlargement or reduction is called the scale factor. So we use this formula. So you use the enlarged side over the original side to tell the scale factor. Okay, so let's say it is a reduction. So when we say this figure is a reduction of this with a scale factor of half. So that means, right, if I take this length over this length, so if I take P prime Q prime over PQ, I will get half. Meaning this is 1 unit and this is 2 units. So you can do a comparison. That means the original is actually 2 units, and then it grew smaller. It shrink to 1 unit. So even the subsequent side, for example, QR, Q prime, R prime. So if you compare Q prime, R prime over QR, it will also be 1:2. Okay, so this one is 2 square, and this one is 1 square. So when our scale factor is a fraction, we know that there is a reduction. That means that we got a figure that's smaller than the original one. So basically, it's quite easy to tell. If your scale factor is more than 1, that means, right, it has grown bigger. It has been enlarged. If your scale factor is more than 1. If your scale factor is less than 1, that means it has become smaller. Okay, so that is the idea of similarity and enlargement. So as a summary, if let's say your scale factor is greater than 1, then our image is enlarged. That means I got a bigger figure than the original one. If my scale factor is between 0 to 1, That means essentially it's a fraction. Then the image is reduced. That means from the original, you get a smaller one. But if your scale factor is equal to 1, that means, right, you produce another figure that's exactly the same as the original one. So that is what we meant by congruent. That means it's exactly identical. Okay? So that is just the idea of enlargement and how is it being related to similarity, because there is a fixed ratio. So similarity has a fixed ratio, enlargement also has a fixed ratio. It's just that in enlargement, we call the fixed ratio scale factor. And this is the formula for scale factor that you need to take note of.